It's over. But wait, what's over? Fall Guys? No, Stumble Guys is done. It is completely done. So you'll probably know that Stumble Guys was launched in 2020. You probably know that Stumble Guys was released shortly after Fall Guys. They basically copied the entire game, and the only thing they had going for them was the fact that they were on mobile. And eventually, they got bought by Scopely, which is a company which has now been bought again by Savvy Games Group, a subsidiary of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. So that Public Investment Fund exists to foster the growth of the gaming industry in Saudi Arabia and invest in foreign video game companies. So Savvy Games Group decided to pay Mr. Beast lots of money so that they could have a collaboration, and then Mr. Beast in turn advertised Stumble Guys loads so that he could get his name out there, because Stumble Guys is the second most downloaded multiplayer game on the App Store. As you can see here from Wikipedia, Stumble Guys is very similar to Fall Guys. However, the difference with Fall Guys is that in the game 32 players compete with each other, and in I think they meant Stumble Guys. But anyway, this is all changing. Fall Guys is about to completely wipe the floor and take the crown back from Stumble Guys and become a much better game. You can see here that Stumble Guys has generated 13 million, which is still nowhere near how much Savvy Games Group has paid to own the company. So hopefully, with Fall Guys rumoured to be launching on mobile this summer, they will get a lot of downloads, a lot of extra money, and become the most popular multiplayer game on the platform. Stumble Guys has recently launched on consoles, which it hadn't done before, but it hasn't really done well on them, and Fall Guys is definitely superior. Fall Guys is overall a much more superior gameplay experience. One of the main issues with Stumble Guys, I have played it for quite a bit actually. I played it for about 3 weeks in total. I realised that there's a huge flaw with the gameplay. Obviously it's a lot simpler to look at, that's not a big deal, but the main problem with Stumble Guys is that all button inputs and movement are all done by the server, not your device. So whether you play on computer, PC or a console, you're gonna have a delay. There's a massive input delay, especially if you're far from the server, because you have to wait for the server to decide what you've done before it sends it back to you. So it can take huge amounts of time for your player to actually update on screen, compared to a professional, proper, real game like Fall Guys, where all that kind of thing is done on the client itself, on your own device, and then the server basically gets sent that information and updates it itself. So everything you see on your screen is instant, and it's only the other players and things like obstacles that might have any kind of a delay, but those won't directly affect you in the same way. So why is Stumble Guys over? First of all, the mobile launch, which should hopefully be coming up soon. But let's take a look at this new update that's just been revealed yesterday. So first of all, we have the new game mode, Explore, which is going to keep things just permanently going, never ending. We've got the new social features, including the piggyback, so any new players joining on mobile, if they get stuck, they can actually ask for a piggyback, and they'll be helped out. We've got a bunch of creative updates, including rotation controllers for some more moving platforms, and a jungle background. That's going to be fun. The entire core movement of Fall Guys is being updated to be a bit more user-friendly, so there's going to be a lot less ragdolling, and you'll be able to jump a bit higher and accelerate a bit quicker as well. So this is definitely going to lend itself to playing on a mobile, and just make the game a little bit more forgiving for all of the newer players. Here's where things are really going to take over from Stumble Guys, because the main solo showed is now transforming into Knockout, and it's basically copying what Stumble Guys has done, which is a lot more suitable for mobile gameplay. We're having a much shorter rounds, 3 rounds, 32 players. It's going to be a lot simpler and a lot quicker, which is very good for people who are on the move. There's that new season pass that's going to be launching in just a few days, and the carryable bean, of course. So even though Stumble Guys has paid off Mr. Beast, they've had collaborations and partnerships with all kinds of other big names, it doesn't stop the fact that the core game itself is just not as good. It's not polished, it's not refined. Trust me, I've played it for enough time. I've got a bunch of wins in it, as you can see here, and it's just not as good of a game. Partly because it was originally designed for mobile and then ported upwards to other things. Fall Guys is just a much more polished experience, a very professional game made by a studio that really knows and understands gameplay. We have to remember that Scopely has only ever really existed as a mobile games company. They've not even been around for that long. And if you look up their other games, they're not really very well known. So Scopely's top 4 grossing games in 2018 were WWE Champions, The Walking Dead Road to Survival, Wheel of Fortune Free Play, and Yahtzee with Buddies. So it is really just a mobile game studio. They've obviously made a lot of money from doing that because mobile games are just hugely popular and everyone's got a phone. You have to remember that as well. So with Fall Guys releasing on mobile, I can imagine the popularity will be huge. We'll see a lot more money and cash flow coming into the game itself, and it's just going to be a really exciting time. I just don't think anyone will have any reason to play Stumble Guys anymore. As soon as Fall Guys is on mobile, we'll have people playing it everywhere. And this is before we even get to the implementation of Fall Guys and Fortnite. This is the other thing that is absolutely going to crush Stumble Guys. Fortnite, arguably the biggest game, possibly of all time, but definitely the largest and most popular multiplayer game. And we've had it confirmed that Fall Guys is going to not only be in Fortnite's Unreal editor, but it's also going to be added to the actual Battle Royale map. We're going to have these kind of obstacle courses actually in Fortnite, which might reward things like loot or health. I don't really understand Fortnite that much, but I'm learning how to play it, and this could technically lead to some Fortnite collaboration cosmetics in Fall Guys itself as well. Now, it is still rumoured, but possibly with the launch of mobile this year, ranked mode may also be arriving at the same time in Fall Guys, and that's just going to be a combination that hopefully might see some tournaments, some investment into the game from Epic, and as long as the game is popular enough to bring all that cash back from the players, Fall Guys is going to be absolutely huge. I've played Stumble Guys for a while, I got bored of it. I've played Fall Guys since the day it was released, and overall Fall Guys is just a way better game in every single way. The only reason that most people played Stumble Guys is just how easy it is to play on the move on a mobile device. There is one final thing I've wanted to address that Stumble Guys does wrong in my mind as well. Stumble Guys has a problem when it comes to gambling, because the inherent nature of the game is that it's quite pay to win. There are some very powerful emotes that you can get in the game which do cost money to purchase. Unless you play the game for a really long time, you can eventually get it in the wheels that you spin. But those wheels that you spin for cosmetics all encourage the gambling, and they seem heavily rigged to me. The amount of wheels that I spun that would land right next to something really good and never on it, I think they are very heavily weighted to appear as though you're about to win something and then you don't. I bet someone could probably look into the code of the game to confirm this, but all in all, I think the way that the game promotes this gambling and this buying of abilities is very shameful and should be frowned upon. And with the mobile release of Fall Guys coming up soon, that's it. Stumble Guys is over. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, please leave a comment. If you have agreed or disagreed with anything I've said, what you think of these two games, feel free to like or dislike the video, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in another one. Goodbye. Of course, there's one other huge issue with Stumble Guys, that awful, terrible music which plays incessantly in every single level. I hate it.